Hello everyone, and welcome back to another video of mine. This time I'm back with Astrea's Broken Hearts Season 1, Episode 3. The real ones in the comments section. Like, my besties in the comments section at this point. Like, I love you all with a burning passion. They let me know that there will be a diamond rush because they all know that my memory is literally failing me every single time, again and again. We already know with when I was playing Heaven's Secret 2, the Malbonti version, like my soulmate, my man, I kept on forgetting when the update was coming up. Like, I'm awful with dates. I am so sorry. But that's why the real ones know and they keep on reminding me. So thanks to all of you, because now you are being gifted. You're getting gifts from me now. Let's see. Recognizing the danger in an animal's scowl is easy, but to tell friend from foe from their charming smiles on the other hand, bye. My hand goes directly onto David. Yo, like, I was joking. I did not actually mean with my last comment, the most innocent one is the shadiest, that I was actually throwing shade onto my innocent Raphael. Like, that was just a caption. I did not actually think that they were gonna be going on like this. Episode 3, a matter of trust. Goddamn. Not our character having trust issues. This episode contains graphic description of violence. Oh, that's fine. If there is any path... Sorry. If there is any path that could lead someone to madness, a sleepless night is definitely one. Me. In an attempt to find a logical explanation for Raphael's words, Simona considered all the possibilities she could think of. I mean, we don't really know Raphael. And of course, like, if no one actually knows what's going on behind closed doors, you could misinterpret someone's words. But we can't immediately jump the gun at this. We don't know Raphael. And of course, I did say he's such a pure soul. I mean, everyone can pretend, and they can, like, pretend to be a good guy, but on the other hand, they're actually not. And they are just pretending to be a nice guy, like, to get information, like some undercover agent. But we don't know for sure. We can immediately, like, tell, yeah, we need to be careful from this one because he's shady AF. We don't know him that well in order, like, to be like, what is this man doing? Tomorrow she will die. If what? Is his father doesn't answer him? And who's going to die anyway? It could have meant a metaphorical death, like the death of hope. Okay, nah, girl. I will have to actually put you out of your misery on that one, because no. You never ever say that, especially like someone that isn't really someone that is into psychological analysis like I'm doing. Like, I never actually knew that I was doing like psychological analysis until someone pointed it out. And apparently you all love me for it. So I love you all with a burning passion. Thank you. But honestly, I never thought of myself as much of like someone that actually is doing psychological analysis. I was just analyzing a situation and trying like to explain why a person is behaving a specific type of way. Never actually going into like, let's just consider it like mental illness or something. Like, I kept on saying, yeah, depression and anxiety and panic attacks, but I never really went too deep into that one, so... But, hey, you all love me for it again, so it's fine. We all appreciate. Pressure slowly built up in her chest from her anxious thoughts, making her breathing tight. Says the one that actually was capable to stab someone in order to defend herself. I mean, of course, the adrenaline pumping, but still. Like, you feel anxiety just from that. You just got to know the guy. But Simona couldn't voice or even consider the most frightening of them. The world doesn't revolve around me. Raphael could have been talking about anyone. True. But of course we love to be important. Though that hardly makes it any better. At some point her decision to live under the same roof as these complete strangers began to feel poorly thought out. Hey, I need to put this in here as well because I also have trust issues. To a specific degree, trust issues. Like, they're very, very... small now, but still, I would consider them issues. You gotta know when to like accept change. You gotta be capable to actually trust someone. You can't be closed off all the time. And of course, her anxious thoughts are like leading into this rash decision and everything that's going on, because she knew she couldn't go back no matter what she did. You need to be capable, like, to accept challenges. She had no way out. So of course she would accept this, and she liked working on such cases. She loved the paranormal. Like, of course this would be the best option for her. Like, it doesn't automatically always mean that someone is gonna die. But the first tentative rays of sunshine calmed her feverish mind and took away all her nightmares. Everything I imagined was just that, my imagination. And if I want to know the truth, I will have to ask Raphael directly. Simona's lack of sleep had rewarded her with a migraine. Me. Like, there are days that I just consider never ever waking up because, like, my back is killing me and it's actually contributing to the migraine. She felt like her thoughts just couldn't fit inside her head anymore. Her skull throbbed, all the questions and worries threatening to tear her apart. Why am I so nervous? Because you like the guy. And again, just because I say I like the guy doesn't necessarily mean in a romantic way. We feel for Raphael. And as someone who's compassionate, you would want to make that person feel better about themselves and everything. So actually feeling that you were just naive in believing that those pure souls that don't really have that shady side to themselves have extinguished over time is something that actually hurts you. It's not like I haven't encountered scary things over the course of my career. Exactly, that's why I could never work as a psychologist. I mean, I partially am, but like, when you are a psychologist, all kinds of patients come to you, and I'm very compassionate and very sensitive. Like, someone coming in here telling me that they have this darkness inside of themselves that they can't control, it leads them to do like bad decisions, like, I don't know, cutting themselves or something. I'm out. Like, I could never. Besides, I'm a very visual person. Like, I visualize things. So when you actually tell me all those awful things, I have to imagine it, or else I can't really picture what you're going through. And that's gonna end badly for me. So, no. Raphael's room was quiet and no one responded to her persistent knocking on the door. I'm the only one acting strange right now. Simona checked the kitchen and the living room. There was no one in either place. At this point, I would just, like, grab a baseball bat. A baseball bat or a gun. The first person that comes in, I shoot you down. Okay, I'm gonna stop. But, like, come on now. At least tell me. Let me know. Like, you're not living on your own anymore. Like, just let me know. Yeah, we're out for the evening. Like, you're alone. At least let me know. Then when I hear footsteps that are strange in my eyes, I know possibly it's you. The mansion possessed the most unusual trait. If its residents weren't actively seeking you out, it was nearly impossible to find them yourself. Well, then go to the only place that makes you feel safe. Giving up on running into anybody at all, Simona decided to stop by Michael's office. Although she didn't find anyone inside, she was relieved to see the lit screen of his laptop and a fragrant cup of coffee on his desk. That means that it's fresh. That means he's around. This means MIKAEL was here not too long ago, yeah. And since it looks like the coffee's freshly brewed, he should be back soon. Her headache just wouldn't go away. Simona decided that Michael would forgive her if she waited for him in his office instead of the corridor. Simona sat down in one of the armchairs and rested the back of her head against the cool leather. How should I start this conversation? I'll start from the beginning. Say that Raphael's behavior worries you. Honestly, like, once in a while, I can pick the other option, right? And yes, I know you all will be smacking your forehead by now. But I have to. Just once, okay? Just one. Say that I'm worried about Raphael. Faith, that's cute. He didn't look too good yesterday morning. And if I led with that, it wouldn't even be a lie. Simona listened to the wind outside the window and closed her eyes. As soon as she made up her mind, a wave of fatigue washed over her. This warming itch, she thought, thankfully left her mind, giving way to silence. Simona dozed off. At some point, she heard distant, soft footsteps through the haze of Hall's sleep. They felt like the part of a dream at first, but then Simona realized that there was someone standing right next to her. Looks like MIKAEL is back. Pretend to be asleep! I'm sorry, I like those small figurines at the side that enable the hints. Gradually, Simona came to, but she was in no hurry to open her eyes. She had a strange, inexplicable desire to see what MIKAEL would do next. Simona was sure that he was standing just a few steps away from her. I'm innocent, don't mind me if I do. I was making myself comfortable. You said I was fine here. She smelled the faint, citrusy freshness of his scent and heard a quiet rustling nearby. We were just close to him for like a few seconds. How could she recognize this man's smell? My apologies. Like, it was his face that actually made me feel extremely shy. Like I want to jump out the window, not in a positive way. I should be anywhere but here. Simona was expecting him to reach out to her or call her name, but instead she was covered with a soft blanket. Stop! No! What a cutie! He seems to be like this kind of dad figure of the story. Like, I know and I appreciate it. Do not give me spoilers. I'm begging you, don't. But when a character appears on a screen, I'm more than happy to hear your opinion about him or her, okay? I really am. It always brings me joy, to see what you all think about this. How am I supposed to open my eyes without arousing suspicion now? Do I yawn theatrically and stretch? Well, just slowly open your eyes as if he would have awakened you. The feeling of safety and comfort saved her from dilemma. Her headache had subsided and now Simona had to fight off her drowsiness. Does putting the blanket on me mean that he doesn't mind my presence? I don't think he minds. I think he was more worried that you were sitting here all by yourself, seeking comfort in this man's presence, because you felt intimidated of this place. That means he didn't really take that much care of anyone. Her mind was suspended between wakefulness and slumber, and with the pain gone, Simona finally relaxed. Then she heard the muffled sound of a chair being moved, followed by the gentle clicking of a keyboard. He actually sat down and continued working. This is such a cute scene. He is such a cutie pie. Again, he gives me off father vibes. I'm not saying daddy vibes, even though he looks like one. I'm saying father vibes. He feels the need to take care of his residences, the people that are living there. He feels the need to make sure that they're all right, that they're safe and sound. And that means being overly protective, maybe sometimes a little bit extremely strict, very calm, collected, thinking everything out in the smallest details to make sure nothing goes wrong. He gives off those vibes. All the sounds and smells that filled the room seeped into her dream. She actually fell asleep, y'all. I cannot with this woman. She watched the way MIKAEL typed with his graceful fingers, how he glanced at her when the sounds went quiet, and he took a sip of coffee. How would she know when she... Y'all, sometimes the way they're describing these things, if you are asleep, how would you know what he's doing? And now, if you didn't want him to think that you were pretending to be asleep, how can you keep your eyes open while he's looking at you without him actually knowing that you are pretending? She admired him openly, as one could only do in a dream. Bye. Then everything faded away, leaving only a faint scent of lemon. Not as falling asleep, I cannot. Simona couldn't tell exactly how much time had passed before she felt the light touch of a cool hand against her forehead. He thinks she's sick. Bye. A touch so gentle that it seemed to be nothing more than a continuation of her dream. And what a pleasant continuation it was, so chaste and brief. She didn't want to part with the feeling at all. Instead, she wanted to press her cheek against the hand and keep enjoying its soothing coolness. Then she felt the touch again, this time from thin fingers instead of a palm. They affectionately brushed a stray strand of hair from her face. Nah, not this man admiring us while we asleep. And this time Simona was more cunning. Even half asleep, she caught the graceful hand in her own. Period. I would be doing this. Like, I would expect the man that is sleeping and I'm doing like this to him. I would expect him to do that. Like, don't pretend that you don't know what's going on. Don't pretend that you didn't feel my fingers on your face. Like, catch me midair. Like, catch me off guard. I want this. I expect you to do this. She got what she wanted and nuzzled against her prize. Simona. His quiet, gentle voice made its way into her dream. Again into her dream. He there! They intertwined, creating a subtle image of the voice owner. Long blonde hair, a stern gaze, a sly smile. Simona wished that the hand would be a bit more bold and make the dream a little more interesting. She's like, please allow your hand to slide all over my body, like wrap my boobs, I don't know, like move with your mouth a little closer, like, I don't know, like rip my shirt open, like allow your tongue to wander all over my upper body, like I don't mind. What is she on? She having those wet dreams while she awake? That's a talent. And then the guest from her dream obliged. Huh? The thumb stroked her cheek and goosebumps ran down her body, sobering her. Simona opened her eyes and saw Michael crouched beside her chair. Not crouched! He actually crouched down, y'all. Hold the fucking phone. I swapped way too fast. He blushing. He clearly wasn't embarrassed having her cheek pressed against his hand, though the same could not be said for Simona. The rest of the dream quickly dissipated as if she had been doused with a bucket of ice water. I'm sorry, you've been asleep for so long. I was starting to worry you had a fever. Oh, that's fine, honey. I enjoyed this. MIKAEL didn't try to pull his hand away. Instead, he observed her reaction with a slight smile. No, y'all. This is also a hot personality. Like, there are a lot of people, especially like those that don't want to admit to themselves that they care. The second that they are caught, they immediately pull their hand away, feeling stupid and embarrassed about having allowed themselves to allow feelings to take charge. This man instead is out and proud. He says, I had the desire to touch you and I'm not afraid to admit it. I'm not. That's a different kind of hotness, sir. No, I'm the one who should apologize. Having come to her senses, Simona let go of his hand. Unsure of where to put her own, she clutched a blanket. I didn't sleep much last night. I should have gotten myself in order before coming here. Did something happen? MIKAEL sat so close that she had trouble focusing. I mean, again, he is beautiful. And this time I'm talking about both. His face and his personality. Did I really grab his hand like that? Yes, and we're not afraid. He was so stately and collected, but he sat there so casually, here right in front of her. This man is actually giving me so many dirty ideas, y'all. He really is. Like, you are crouched down. I'm most definitely sitting, like, in front of you. I don't know if our legs are, like, crossed or not, but you are strong. I know that you will be capable to find your ways to my legs. Like, spread them, place yourself in between them, or wrap your arms around my legs, and then suck me dry. And I am not afraid of what I just said. I am not afraid. I am not ashamed. Looking her in the eyes, right, did he lean in to brush the hair from my forehead? Simona found herself unable to make a sound, so she just shook her head. Sensing her embarrassment, MIKAEL stood and went over to the desk. And you ruined it, bitch. I just wanted to talk to you, nothing more. Sitting in his chair and folding his hands together, she folded like a piece of paper. Michael watched Simona with a serious expression. Michael likes how flustered you got. This man likes the cute, innocent ones. Well, babe, then I'm not your type. So what did you want to talk about? I wanted to talk about RAPHAEL. Though his expression didn't change, she could feel the sudden shift in his mood. I'm listening. Okay. Path of skepticism. I don't want to impose my help on anyone who hasn't asked for it, but I can't stand by and do nothing when someone's in trouble. Simona, before you continue, I'd like to ask you to speak your mind directly. And he is someone that says straightforward, bitch. Gotta love this bitch. Gotta love him. You don't need to choose your words so carefully with me. I love him with a burning passion. Be fucking honest. That's all I want, of course. Like, don't be a bombshell. Like, thread carefully. Like, you don't need to be tiptoeing around me. Like, be honest. Stand your business. But it's the way you say things. Like, you can, to put an example in here, you can insult me, but you see it's a difference when you are impulsive and then you say it in a fit of rage, instead when you say it calmly, sort of, as if you, like, accepted it, sort of, if you get what I mean. Be honest, straightforward. Say what you can stand, let's toss it out, let's go into the ring, let's clear the air, and then we're fine again. Like, as much as it sucks to fight with people, it also makes you grow closer. Because you will always have disagreements, even with the people closest to you, because we're all different. So, like, just be straightforward. Like, I'm not gonna hate you for having a different opinion. And I love that the people in my comment section are finally, like, realizing this. And they appreciate me because of this. And they have no fear to actually ounce their opinion. You see, yesterday I overheard RAPHAEL calling for help. He was obviously talking to himself, but it seemed like he was actually waiting for an answer. Michael didn't appear surprised to hear this at all. I suspect he was trying to talk to our father. Your? Our father disappeared and all our attempts to find him have been unsuccessful. I suspect he simply doesn't want to see us. I'm sorry. It was difficult for RAPHAEL to accept. I believe he is in denial stage right now. No! They are actually doing this. I'm in love with the story. Because he is in denial, if what he's saying is true. But I also know when I feel like I'm being lied to, sir. And I feel like there is more to the story. And not because of anything. Because I feel like this is part of it. But he's saying it so calmly. No one would actually say something calmly. Especially like he was like, our father doesn't want to see it. He says this so calmly. As if it would have never bothered him at all. Especially if you don't know the person. Or like the person in front of you is like a stranger. You don't know each other that well. You would actually try like to show that it used to bother you. He's saying it completely calmly as if he's not worried about his brother's mental state. This is maybe part of what's going on, but there is more to it. I don't think you're better suited to explaining this behavior than I am. Being in a state of denial does not mean being in delirium, though. And that's what RAPHAEL is. He is in delirium. If he starts talking to himself, I mean, I hate that people say it like this, so I need to say this in here as well. When you talk to yourself, you ain't crazy. Like, talking to yourself means that you are just saying your thoughts out loud. That's it. You're not crazy. You're not imagining someone being in front of you. You just say what you actually feel. Like you say what you think out loud. Like, just what I'm doing right now, to put an example in here. I mean, I know that you all will get to see this, but as of right now, I'm recording. I'm talking on the phone. I'm talking to myself. You know? Like, talking as if someone will respond back. If you get what I mean. You're not crazy when you talk by yourself. You're just saying out loud what you are thinking. And the way he was like, if what he's saying is completely true and this is all about the father, then this is way past being a state of denial, because this man actually was willing like to plan mass murder from his words. So he's not in denial. He is in a state of delirium where he's actually imagining that the father will like appear out of nowhere if he does something that he feels his father would approve of. If I explained it better like this. Because he was talking as if he was waiting for an answer. Like, this is different. You say something different. You don't pretend that there is someone like in front of you and you talk like that. It was like he was expecting an answer. And you don't expect an answer when you talk by yourself. Okay, that explains why he's talking to himself, but it doesn't explain why he said someone was going to die. Still, he seems to be rather uneasy. And he has some pretty dark thoughts. Raphael is a very sensitive soul. I noticed. But even the most sensitive soul can break. But the truth is that he doesn't want to share his worries, not even with me. I'm not trying to push my services here, it's just... What exactly did he say? And now he's curious, because in his eyes, this man got lost in his train of thoughts, not actually being careful about phrasing his words better. And he said something that we shouldn't have. So now MIKAEL over here feels the need to actually repair the damages that Raphael caused in his delirium. So he's curious about what he said. Before, he didn't really care. He just wanted to know why we're worried. Now, he feels the need to dig in deeper in order to figure out how badly Raphael screwed up their shared secret. Let's say it like this. Why do I get the feeling that I shouldn't have started this conversation? I mean, someone in the comment section already said that they love that whatever I say and analyze is being displayed in the episode later on. So yes, she also has that feeling, And ladies and gentlemen, just to put this in here as well, you actually will also feel that feeling that someone gives you like shady vibes. You will feel that too. That's when you are capable to read between the lines. The second you are capable to read between the lines and are capable like to distinguish someone's behavior or someone's body language, you can immediately sense bullshit. I should have brought this up with David. What should I say? He sensed blood and that someone would die today. He asked his father to answer him. Let's say it like this, very kindly. I understand that you want to help. But unfortunately, you will not be able to heal his pain. He misses his father, and I'm here talking about him behind his back. You're a good person, Simona. Raphael would be glad to know that you care about him. But it's not worth it, believe me. It's not worth it talking to him about this, or it's not worth it trying to want to save him. MIKAEL will not tell Raphael that you overheard him. This will affect the plot. Well, we look at that. Now imagine he would have. Imagine he would have with the other option. Now tell me that David managed to persuade you to join him this evening. This unexpected change of subject took Simona by surprise. Yes. Would you like to come with us? I'm afraid I won't be comfortable in the sorts of places David enjoys. Not the smug grin. Honestly, I could punch him in the face. I hate when someone is trying to pretend that I'm stupid. I can read too. You're not the only one that can read in between the lines. Now I'm curious about the kind of places you prefer. The basement. The woods. With a shovel. If you're that interested, I'll be happy to show you next time.
In the meantime, I would like to give you something.
Michael took a small box from the desk and handed it to her. Wow, it's beautiful. Huh? Oh, cute. Woo. Well, fine, antique.
Is the symbol of her organization.
Simona turned it over in her hands. I've heard this rose has many meanings. Which one do you use?
Sub rosa, which means under the rose in Latin. In ancient Rome, anything that took place in rooms strewn with rose petals was considered confidential.
Or romantic.
Her symbol is a symbol of silence.
Everything that comes in does not come out from anyone. Keeping your mouth shut. I see. Seems like gifts comes packed with extra meaning already. Simona nodded, smiling sweetly. Yeah, that was his it was his way to say patient confidentiality. Whatever happens inside of these walls will remain in these four walls.
If I've managed to allay your fears and you're willing to continue working with us, then I dare not to keep you any longer.
Even the hints they drop around here aren't subtle. Me. Because that was his way of saying, well, if you're fine with actually being like this nervous wreck, never ever telling anyone about what's going on here and everything, if I haven't intimidated you by subtly trying to manipulate you, then you are free to go. Nice. Clutching the gift box in her hand, Simona said goodbye to Michael and went back to her room. I see. He's the shadiest one as well. Simona spent the rest of the day shopping online, and they actually arrived the same day. Running away with a single bag and leaving your old life behind was exciting, but it also meant heading into a fresh start without the essentials. How could I have left without a charger? She doesn't even have the phone charger. Eventually, evening rolled around, and David came over with a pile of colorful outfits, course. He tactfully knocked on the door, waited exactly 1 second, and then burst into the room without waiting for an answer. Well, at least he knocked. That we appreciate the small advances.
What kind of courses hang out in the yard all day, little witch?
Good evening to you too, David. The courtiers are helping me stay here longer by bringing me the things I need.
That's great news. But I hope they didn't bring you a dress, because you promised to wear whatever I picked out for you.
Look, Sonny. If it's a baby doll or like a Domina outfit, then you can wear it yourself. I promised?
Take a look before getting all sarcastic on me.
David gave her his usual wink as he dumped the pile of them in the bed. Damn.
I'll come pick you up in an hour, witch.
Why is he constantly calling us a witch? David was almost out the door when Simona suddenly jumped out of the bed. David, wait. David slowly walked back, his eyes narrowed slightly.
Invited back in already. Oh, how my mind fills with wonderful speculations.
Keep on dreaming, sir. Have you seen Raphael today?
Now that's an unexpected question.
Uh-huh.
No, why? Are you trying to make me jealous?
Bye. Yes, did it work? Honestly, at this point, with men like these, you gotta be like that, okay? You have to. Yes, I'm trying to make you jealous, very jealous. Did I succeed?
It worked, this bitch. Get ready, dear witch, or we'll miss all the fun.
I feel like he's mocking her by saying little witch, that's why I'm saying it like this. David closed the door behind him and left. What year was it the last time I went to a club? Dear 0,000? Maybe unwinding is actually a good idea. Okay, let's see. My god, these outfits are a disgrace, y'all. Temptation, seduction. These outfits are a little better, to be honest. They are a little better, but still. Let's go with temptation. because I am someone that loves to tempt people. Not bad. I need to do something special with my hair. You don't, but that's fine. Oh, cute. Ooh, this is a hairstyle I condone. Ooh, honestly, yes, ash. It wouldn't hurt to freshen up my makeup either, right? Oh my god. Ooh, accentuate on the lips. Okay, for the people that know, I rarely use makeup, but when I put on makeup, I never put much concentration on the lips. In my eyes, I always concentrate on my eyes. That's why I'm gonna go with the eyes here too. Impressively punctual, David returned exactly 1 hour later. He stood still in the doorway, shamelessly looking her up and down, admiring her curves. Am I gonna smack the shit out of him or not? You know what? He's a guy, like, desire rising and everything. I'm pretty sure I've said a lot worse, so it's fine. Is everything alright?
Hush, everything is too good.
Bye! Son, I'm not your wing woman, nor are we going on a date.
Give me a minute to recover.
Bye! And the lip bite. Come on, you'll have to recover on the way. Gallantly, David offered his hand and led Simone away from the mansion. Y'all, I have this hate-love relationship with David, honestly, now that I think about it. There are moments where I'm like, this man is too much. And I'm like, nah, I'm not really on this man at all. And then there are moments where he's like kind of recovering his balance before I actually shoo him to Philadelphia. And he is again in my good graces. He's always like there, in the middle. The club was crowded with all sorts of people. Someone was trying to convince the bouncer to let them in, but the stern man wouldn't budge.
Already drunk. Go home and slip it off. So you lost your passport and decided to celebrate that at the club.
Why? Simona's mood immediately sank. She didn't want to stand in the line in the cold and argue with security, but David deftly navigated the crowd and went straight to the entrance. What?
David, I haven't seen you in a while. I had no reason to come, my friend. In that case, I'm glad you finally found one. And a beautiful one at that.
Thank you.
Welcome, miss.
Thank you. In her years as a student, Simona didn't get to unwind often, and when she did, she usually preferred to spend her free evenings in less crowded places. Me. Clubs. Oh, what happened? I didn't even... no matter. But this one wasn't like that at all. It was dimly lit, and the low music seemed designed to create an intimate atmosphere. Women in revealing outfits writhed like snakes as they cast their predatory languid glances around. Damn. Those who had already found marks wrapped their arms around their victims, intent and gentle all at once. Now I mark my territory venomously. Literally. You mine. What an interesting place. It seems to suit David. I think I'm starting to understand what MIKAEL meant before. It's definitely not for more refined taste. I think I'm starting to understand what he meant. Everything here is just a bit too vulgar, almost dirty. So are we. Do you come here often?
It depends on your definition of often.
She didn't get a chance to respond before a pretty woman walked up and took him by the hand. Of course, leave us here all by ourselves in our lonesome.
David, where have you been? We've missed you so much. Not as much as I missed you, my dear.
Wow.
I can tell. You always find a reason to leave us so sad and alone.
Simona felt a heavy appraising gaze on her and met it with a defiant raise of her eyebrow. Period. You want something from me? Period. What you gonna do, bitch? Aren't you going to ask the reason's name? Period. And we said we're that kind of a bitch.
What you want? We didn't only raise our eyebrows and look down on her condescendingly. We also said, don't you want to know the reason's name? Why a fine-ass man like him actually decided to ditch your bitch ass.
How about it suits you?
Indeed. Y'all! This story just started. We'll see.
Well, I won't interfere. If you need me, you know where to find me, honey.
Bye. With a parting wave, the woman walked off and David headed for the bar. I don't even know what to say, y'all. What an interesting woman. Charlotte owns this club. Everything's free for us here, so order what you want and as much as you like. What will I have? Whiskey on the rocks, glass of wine, non-alcoholic cocktail. No, you know what? I'm gonna go with need whiskey. Great, I'll be right back. David disappeared into the thirsty crowd and then when I felt like she was being watched. What now? A young man seemed to have been waiting for David to leave. As soon as he was out of sight, the stranger approached and leaned against the bar next to her. Oh my god. Oh god. Hey, dude. The man's eyes looked a little glassy, but he didn't seem drunk. Hello. Can I help you with something? That's like the best way to tell someone to fuck off. Because we all know what happens in clubs. I haven't seen you here before. I haven't been here before. He looked around quickly, then moved even closer. Want to have some fun? No. Not her being me. God damn. No, I'm already having plenty of fun. By myself in my lonesome. Not giving up, the man moved much closer and tried to put a hand on her, but she gently pulled away. A little slow, aren't you? Yes, that was his way of saying that he will have us one way or another. No, you are slow. I told you to back the fuck off. I think I'm being very clear. Do I have to get you a drink first? No. Simona felt her patience wearing thin. I don't even have much patience to begin with. Like, the second he wouldn't understand, I would have immediately smacked him silly. The last thing I need right now is to get into a fight with some random guy. This man just needs to back the fuck off or I'm gonna hit him in the nuts. I already told you no. You don't know what you're giving up. No, I know very well what I'm giving up. Nothing special. I can take you to the VIP room. Aww. Again, does not save you bitch ass attitude. Ooh. At this point, immediately happiness. Y'all, honestly, when I first met David's face, I thought he was ugly as fuck. But I feel like because I'm starting to like his personality and I'm kind of debating whether I like this man and I'm gonna pursue him or not, I'm starting like to really appreciate this man's beauty, as in his outside beauty. How about I take you to the VIP room? Ooh, David appeared behind him with glasses in his hands. Are you looking to get hurt? Apparently. Shooting her one last angry look, the man immediately backed away. Bye, bitch. I guess I'm out of practice when it comes to dealing with overly persistent men. Can't leave you alone for a minute. Sorry, my guy. After thanking David for the drink and his help, Simona glanced out at the dance floor. But it's the fact he may have taken us to a club, but he's not actually being extremely, like, possessive or something. He just stepped in to help us out. As in saying, she's here with me tonight. He's not actually being overly touchy, nor is he like trying to, since we like confided in him and said we are worried about Raphael, and now we're alone, all in the middle of nowhere. He's not like trying to force himself onto us or nothing. He's actually really respectful. And I appreciate this. It's giving this man a bit of extra points. There are more and more people were eagerly immersing themselves in the thick, sensual atmosphere. It felt like a presence was drawing her to the dance floor. Would you like to dance? A youthful sparkle appeared in David's eyes, along with a clear, burning desire for her to say yes. I'd love to. This could be interesting. I do. Sure. You're allowed.
With a sly smile, David motioned for her to follow him to the center of the dance floor. Can you dance? I can't. He reached out for her. She gracefully avoided his hands, deciding to tease him by dancing alone. You can look, but you can't touch. Y'all, I said this the first episode. What the fuck? Oh my god. She's me. Honestly, she is, I feel. You can look, but you can't touch. And Simona put all her grace into it, dedicating every move to her charming partner. No, y'all, she's actually me. Like, from all the characters that you've met so far, like the ones I've reacted to, the stories I've played, which one would you actually connect to me the most? I'm actually intrigued to know your opinion about this. I feel like she's really me, like she growing on me, saying stuff that is resembling to me. And he immediately understood what she was up to. Grab me, babe. Seducing David was incredibly fun. He eagerly joined the game, encouraging her every move with an admiring look. Bye! Simona arched her neck gracefully and drew an invisible line with her fingertips from her chin to her collarbone. She actually trying to turn him on so badly. She swayed her hips to the beat of the music smoothly, carefully, almost innocently. Simona felt that at this very moment she had undeniable power over the grinning young man's gaze. David obediently followed her every move, taking in every inch of her body where her seductive hand pointed. This man this close of actually not being capable to keep it in anymore. She wanted to lead his eyes even further, to have him look where no one normally could. Slowly, Simona let his gaze lower. She traced her chest and lingered, allowing him to enjoy the view. The heck is going on? Then she slid her hand along her waist and down to her hips.
Simona.
His voice sounded like a warning. Yes, because she doing too much. He already accepted that he is into us, but right now I feel like this is more like physical attraction yet. Even though I feel like he appreciates us as a person, but we don't know each other that well. For me to could actually say that he likes us because of our personality. So we will have to see. An attempt to remind her that sometimes games can be taken too far. The question mark. Simona liked being on the edge. No, I like being in control. Like, there's a reason why I'm tempting you, bitch. I want to make your defense mechanism. I want you to crumble down. I want to know that I was the reason you couldn't keep it in anymore. It's been so long since I did anything fun. I always was a strict doctor. Well, I'm not a doctor anymore. She wanted to lose herself even more, and Simona was sure that he wanted to help her do just that. She flirtatiously slid a hand over David's shoulder. I'm innocent. I did nothing. She gently stroked his forearm, grabbed his hand, and pulled him into her space, letting him join the dance. Are we gonna get something? All right. I actually thought we were gonna get like a kiss scene or something, but that's fine. She didn't have to tell him twice. His greedy hands clasped her waist and pulled her even closer. Hot breath brushed against her neck, and the huskiness of his voice made her dizzy.
I know what you want.
Well, what do I want? Really? I don't remember sharing anything like that with you.
You don't have to say anything. One look by the bar, my dear witch, was enough for me.
You can tell what women want without them saying anything? You're a real find. Then I won't have to actually let you know in the bedroom.
Trust me, I'm the best thing that ever happened to you.
Oh, damn. I'm sorry. I gotta respect this man for his fucking balls. I gotta. Like, the confidence. It's such a turn on for me when a man has confidence. I know what I'm capable of. I know I'm imperfect, but I know what I can do. And I am very much aware that you will be capable to enjoy my presence. I'm confident in that.
I only have one flaw.
Overconfidence? What did I just say? David touched the tip of his nose to her cheek and stopped a hair's breadth away from her lips. His heavy, deep breathing tickled her skin, but David did not cross the line. Again!
I got a command to this man. He is not overstepping boundaries. He's waiting for us to actually be fine with it. He's not overstaying his welcome. That's very rare to find in a man. And it was difficult to tell if he was just playing around or burning with the same desire as her. It's impossible to get enough of me. Sorry to have to say this, but this was actually my line. Moving a little closer, Simona kept her lips a breath away from his hand and whispered, "Then it's a good thing that I won't try." Smiling, she moved back but didn't break away from David's hold. A shadow of regret crossed his face, even as his hands grasped her waist a little tighter. It's the bitter truth, my dear little witch. How else would you and I continue to work together? It'd be terrible. But so much fun. In every neck and corner, it seemed like David had no intention of letting go of her, even though they had long since stopped dancing. They want each other. The music, the people, everything faded into the distant background. Simona wondered what he would do next and tried to ignore her own desires. David will remember this dance for a long time. Please do. Oh my God, Simona, get a grip. No, do not get a grip. Allow your psychological mind to stay where it is, in your mind. Their conversation didn't last long. A loud scream sounded from the depths of the cab. David immediately stood between Simona and the corridor where the scream came from. And this man being a protective bitch. God damn, I love David. God damn. Love this man with a passion. Again, I have this love-hate relationship with this man, but this episode actually allowed me to see what's on the inside for this man. He is trying to be all over confident and everything, but in reality, he's not really. He just is very confident in his decision, and he is actually saying, for the people that truly appreciate me, that truly like me, they will appreciate that I sometimes can be a little bit over the top, but they will not make me feel bad about this. So I'm just being overly confident, because if they can actually appreciate me with my biggest flaws, they will love me even more when I'm being vulnerable with them. I love this tactic. That's sometimes what I used to do. What's going on? Let's find out. David's agitated friend ran out of the hall, spotted him, and quickly approached them. I called Felonia. We have a problem. How serious is it? Very. Let's go. There was no trace of the playful woman they'd met earlier. Path of high reputation, period. What happened? Do you need help? I should probably take you home. She doesn't look like a pampered young lady, David. And we don't have time anyway. Let's go, everyone. And he felt the need to make sure we're safe first. I love this man. After walking down a corridor with a dozen doors, Simona found herself in a small room with no windows. Something in the room smelled awful, though it was difficult to pinpoint its source. Apparently, someone had used an entire can of pine-scented air freshener to cover up the stench. All it did was give her a headache. Private rooms? Now I see why MIKAEL had mixed feelings about this place. A white bed covered with a crumpled bright red sheet immediately caught her eye. I mean, this is a club, so of course a hotel, whatever it is, for the naughty teenagers that want to hook up, of course, but it doesn't mean that was his intention with us. The floor was littered with dirty paper towels. So when I quickly turned away, disgusting, I'll have to start carrying gloves with me. Yeah, jerking off, huh? A woman was huddled in a corner, sobbing and staring down at the ground. Something bad had to have happened to her. Simona crouched down beside her and looked into her tearful eyes. Hey there, what's your name? The woman sobbed softly as she watched David move around the room. He sniffed the air like a bloodhound and paid her no mind. The bed is more important than a person in distress now. Emma. Her soft voice cracked and she fell silent again. I need to try to get her to talk, huh? Ask her questions. Emma, do you remember how you got here?
Ooh, and even reputation. Let's go, queen. Nodding with some uncertainty, Emma turned toward the corridor. Are you injured? Does anything hurt? No. I regret ever coming here. Emma, listen to me. It's not your fault. Whatever happened here, it's not your fault. No, it is. Why would you think that? Bob told me I shouldn't come here, but I kept insisting. Everyone back on campus talked about how cool this club is. The woman clutched the pendant hanging around her neck and pressed it to her heart. That's what you do when you feel extreme anxiety. So, by the way, I used to do that because the necklace I had around my neck was a gift that my mother gave me after I came out of the hospital. And it was some sort of like saving anchor for me back in the day when I hadn't still regained my footing. And holding on to the pendant felt like actually having my mother with me at all times, as saying my saving grace, the one that I knew could always be relied on to like save me. And hanging on to that necklace actually gave me some sort of safety, some feelings of safety. Is Barb your friend? My little sister. We're almost never apart. As if to prove her point, Emma unclenched her fist and revealed half of a silver heart. Is she in the club now? Yeah. Good. A loved one. That's exactly what you need right now. We should be home by now. I promised my parents that we'd be back by midnight, and we're already terribly late. Just be happy that you are alive, both of you, when you arrive home. That's the important thing, don't you think? Father's going to kill us both. I'll bring your sister here. Just tell me where to find her. Emma nodded fearfully in David's directions, and when I turned around, not quite sure what she meant. Only then did she notice a blood-stained hand peeking out from under the bed. Oh, she did. Yeah. She killed her sister.
Let's wait for Phil. I don't think she'll be happy if we got started without her.
Is she... Have you checked her pulse? Trying to keep her voice down, Simona glanced at Emma, but David obviously had no interest in sparing the young woman's feelings. I mean, technically, if she killed her, then she needs to know, even if she's gonna have a breakdown, but she's gonna have that breakdown sooner or later, because, again, she's not numb. She will still be capable to absorb the negative feelings that will resolve from this awful event. So even if David is like sparing her feelings and not actually getting her actively involved in the circumstances right now, she will still have to take responsibility if she actually had something to do with this. And if her sister really is dead, then no matter where they twist and turn, sooner or later someone will know that the sister is dead. So I kind of understand why he's not sparing her feelings, but I would feel some sort of secondhand embarrassment for having to tell her.
She's dead.
Can you please wake her up? We really have to go. Oh my god, she's in denial. And this is the point of denial where I have to like tell you all why. When you come into when you experience some huge ass shock, your brain refuses to actually process what is happening, so you're in a state of denial. You refuse to accept reality. You refuse to accept what has happened. You refuse to accept the pain that is forcing itself onto your chest and trying to seep into your heart. Because the second it's inside of your heart, then you will actually have to overcome that pain, as in the second you allow it to sink in, that's the moment when you will have this added to your already heavy weight that's weighing on your chest, that is keeping you from breathing. She refuses to accept that the sister is dead because she was supposed to look out for her, I assume. So actually knowing that the sister is dead, she's not accepting it. She's like, can you like wake her up, please? Like, we have to go. because she does not want to accept that her actually wanting to come to this party, her maybe even convincing her sister to come here, and she was responsible for the sister, and the sister died, like agreeing to her sister's pleading, and now she's the one that actually was killed at the end of the day, when she maybe even told her sister that it was a bad idea. The guilt that would be trying to push itself onto her, she's like trying to refuse the pain from reaching her heart. And that's when you are in a state of denial. You refuse to accept what has happened. You refuse the negativity that comes with the awful memories that are being displayed in front of your eyes. Alright. Her blood pressure shot up so much that it made her head throb. Her ears too were ringing. I mean, that's like more the tension, the stress. Overcoming her fears, Simona stood and forced out a semblance of a smile. Let's get you out of here, Emma. David will wake your sister up. She drank a lot, didn't she? Glad that someone was supporting her attempt to escape reality. Yep. Oh god, this story, I love it. Emma obediently stood and swaying slightly took Simona's outstretched hand. Barb doesn't drink at all. She goes to church. I'm the wild one in our family. Barb is the pride of her parents. And she killed her. I hope she doesn't get into trouble. She told me we shouldn't come. Y'all, I swear to God, I did not see any of these episodes online. I prefer to go in unspoilered. That's why I refuse to listen / read spoilers, or I refuse to go with the walkthrough. Which is why I always have to repeat seasons. I did not know any of this. This is so painful to watch. In the corridor, Filiona was already rushing toward them, followed by a couple of doctors and a tall man in a uniform. Glancing at Emma, she asked sternly and briefly, Where? Simona pointed to the right door as she handed Emma over to the doctors. She tried to convince them to give Emma a sedative right away. Yeah, she needs to, calm down. How horrible. Felonia ordered the nurses to keep an eye on the patient until she arrived at the hospital. Then she went into the room. Simona stood still, her eyes fixed on Emma. The young woman followed the doctors absently like a puppet. A sudden realization struck Simona. While David and I were dancing under the spotlight, someone was killing a girl just a few feet away. Hold up the fucking phone. Wasn't that what Raphael said? Tomorrow she will die? Unwilling to stand here alone, Simona started to head back to the room. Charlotte walked past her and waved tiredly without turning around. Come on, we need to gather everyone in one place. The police have closed off all the exits. As soon as the lights come on, people will try to flee the cockroaches. I'll go to where David is. Charlotte stopped. She arched a skeptical eyebrow but didn't argue. She was too tired. Your choice, but they've already taken the bet anyway. It's not the most pleasant sight. The following premium choice contains detailed description of murder and violence. Okay. Should I go back in there and see what happens? Yes. And ladies and gentlemen, for those that are a little sensitive, even more sensitive than me, please skip. I do not want any of you to feel bad ever by reading or more watching my videos. I always want everyone to have a safe space here. If you feel bad, do not watch this, okay? A policeman with yellow tape was blocking the entrance. She stood there a while and then walked past her without asking questions, likely to fence off the whole corridor with tape. This is an awful sight, I'm seeing this. Trying not to attract attention, Simona entered the room and stopped in the doorway. The bed had been lifted and placed against the wall. In its place, a very young woman lay on the floor in a pool of blood. This is... A wave of nausea immediately began to rise in Simona's throat. Ignoring the blood. David kneeled over the corpse and looked into her glassy eyes with interest. Felonia stood with her back to the door, her lips pressed into a thin line. Simona couldn't come any closer. Instead, she involuntarily stepped back, obscuring the terrible sight. The victim's blouse was torn, and a pool of blood formed around a strange wound on her chest.
The smell of burning flesh is pretty distinct.
If your girlfriend had better security in this place, none of this would have happened.
Relax, Phil. Charlie does thorough checks on people she doesn't know personally.
How stupid do you have to be to trust anyone but yourself? Me. I wouldn't be surprised if I found out that a soldering iron was snuck into her club.
This can even be done with a simple lighter.
Do you think we worked on this for a whole hour? Simona stared in disbelief, first at David, then at Felonia. Are we seeing the same thing? How are they so calm about this? Because they've seen it often. Again, you turn numb, like you numb down the more awful things you see. Because it's nothing normal to you anymore. The more awful things you see, the more you numb down to a specific site. If they have been working with dead bodies over and over and over again, like imagine seeing 10 dead bodies on a daily basis. You get used to it, even if you don't really feel happiness at the sight. How long was she bleeding out in here?
That's what you'll have to tell us tomorrow.
Felonia's face contorted in anger. I'm not your dog.
Whatever you say.
Damn, he said you're my bitch. David straightened up and dusted off his suit, losing all interest in the body.
I hope this isn't what I think it is.
I'm sure that it is. Huh? Where is Raphael? Period.
At home.
Has anyone seen him at home? And he was there all day.
He spent the whole day playing his violin and I enjoyed his beautiful music.
Okay, I want him to check on something. Who is he lying to? Me or her? We were at home the entire day. He wasn't here. And I'll talk to him tomorrow.
Good girl. We'll be waiting for you.
Felonia extended her hand to David and he shook it for exactly 1 second.
You can call your puppies in a couple of minutes. I'll just take a photo of the mark and go.
Felonia grimaced and quickly turned around. What is even happening? Simona moved over a bit to let Felonia pass, but the latter stopped suddenly. Simona, right? Yes. I haven't been introduced. I'm Fel. She didn't know if pleasantries were appropriate at a time like this, so Simona just nodded curtly. How are you holding up? I didn't expect her to care. Alright, I guess. What happened? What about you? Leaving the question unanswered, Fel awkwardly adjusted the straps of her holster. Thank you for helping to get her sister out. It felt like Felonia wanted to say something else but couldn't bring herself to. Don't linger around. I'll get 4 and 6 in here. Once Felonia was out of earshot, David came out of the room.
How are you holding up?
I'm fine.
Ready to head home?
Yeah. I'm ready to talk to Raphael. It's so strange. The moment I leave this club, my life will go on like normal. While for that girl's family, their life as they've known it has ended here. I'd like to visit Emma sometime. Can we do that? Surprised by the question, David shrugged.
Sure, if you want. Melania will stop by tomorrow and you can ask her how to go about doing that.
The heavy weight on her heart lightened just a little, and Simona followed David out. The club goers gathered on the dance floor were upset that they weren't allowed to leave, but for some reason the police let her and David through without any questions. I mean, we were working on the case, so we're not really the threat here. Astrea Detective Agency? Simona wanted to forget everything that had happened that night more than anything. But before they entered the mansion, David stopped and asked again if she was alright. She really wanted to ask him the same thing in return, but found she couldn't bring herself to say anything. He has zero empathy for the deceased. He's like a doctor who has seen death so many times that he hardly feels it anymore. Y'all, at this point, I'm just not gonna do any analysis anymore. Like the next episode, I'm not gonna say shit. I'm just gonna read it because the story literally, yeah. I feel like it's no use anymore. But even such a gruesome murder doesn't faze him at all?
Would you like me to get you something to drink?
I'd like to see more humanity. I wouldn't mind calming my nerves, but I'd rather be alone right now.
I understand. The sitting room is at your disposal. I won't bother you.
You don't say. Right now I'm pissed at you anyways, but Simona found no privacy there. Cassiel was hunched over at the bar.
It's like you're stalking me.
Right, I can leave. She had no energy for sarcasm or bickering, and Cassiel responded in kind. He turned away and muttered,
Stay.
Oh, you want me to stay now? I see that it's just his bitch-ass attitude, like he's a bitch, but he's a kind bitch. Simona sat down silently next to him and looked at the glass he was holding. What are you drinking?
Something to get me drunk.
Why do you want to get drunk? Perfect. Cassiel didn't ask any more questions. Instead, he leaned over the bar and took out a clean glass, period. We're drinking buddies now. He poured some amber liquid into it and gently pushed it toward her. I love this. He immediately understood. He was like, okay, I'm gonna be your drinking buddy. Love this for us. Thank you. Cassiel peered into her face without shame, as if trying to find the answers to his questions in it. Simona stared stubbornly ahead, but with each passing second she became more and more aware of his gaze. If you're about to say something like, I told you this job wasn't for you, I swear.
It's too late for that.
Ooh!
So what happened?
Simona looked at him. Should I trust him? Yes. I want to trust him. I want to believe that he truly means well for us. Simona clenched the glass in her hand so hard that it felt like it might shatter. I thought Astrea would be a clean slate, but before I could even do anything, it's been stained with blood again. Period.
You were at the club, weren't you?
Yes.
What happened there?
A young woman was brutally murdered. The murderer mutilated her body, burned some kind of mark on her chest, and stuffed her under the bed. God, she was just a kid. Her older sister barely looks over 20. The word had a strange effect on Cassiel. They pulled him closer and made his breathing pick up.
A mark? What kind of mark?
What kind of mark? She wanted to scream at him to make him realize that wasn't the right thing to ask in this situation. I mean, but in his point of view, it actually could be essential because depending on the mark, it could be possible that that murder that was going around killing people is like a mass murder. Like, you know, human sacrifice, 7 healers, 7 virgins. You do get the drill. That this was about a lost life, not mutilated flesh. I mean, she has a lot more empathy than me, I would say. I mean, of course I would feel bad, but I mean, it's always different when you see death up close. I've never seen a dead body before, so I feel like it would hit me differently if I would actually be at the crime scene. But I feel like she's struggling eternally with herself. So actually seeing that no one cares enough about her, like to worry about her mental state, and she's always there worrying about everyone else's mental state, is actually leaving some huge ass like hole in her chest. Aww, a girl was killed right under our noses. Nothing but a flimsy door separated us, and if anyone had opened it, if they had only heard. But Cassie was apparently no longer listening. See?
I need to talk to David.
He was about to get up and leave, but her unexpected question forced him to sit down again. Why are all of you like this? I love it. Honestly, I do. Because, I mean, again, like, they have seen it so many times. For them, it's nothing strange anymore about this. So, of course, they wouldn't show, like, this huge-ass empathy that she is showing right now. Because this is, like, her first dead body that she's seen. They perhaps came across a billions of dead bodies. So, for them, it's not really a shock anymore, like, seeing death. And she does not understand how anyone can be like this, ignorant about someone's having lost her life. But they have seen it, so they got used to it. So they can't really show like this shock that she is going through. And it's not really their fault. It's part of their job. Like, they kind of became extremely numb. Like, they kind of lost their compassion. Because they are being forced to actually witness those horrific scenes day after day. You can lose your compassionate side. The question mark. You understood what I said. Why don't you care at all? Simona stared at the patch of grey in Cassiel's hair. She did so openly, brazenly, the way Cassiel always looked at others. You think I don't understand? Locking away your heart in an iron shell because of old pain isn't the solution. Not her being like this. His past trauma has nothing to do with the present, girl. I mean, it still shapes you, of course. But this has nothing to do with, like, the not being capable to show compassion side. They may feel the compassion still, because it's not like they completely lose it. But it's numbed down, like they still feel it, yet they don't really show it anymore. As in, they see the scene deep down, they actually think about how awful the situation is and how fucked up the world is that they're living in. That's a situation like these keep on happening and again and again and again, but they don't actually express it outside to other people. She, on the other hand, is at the beginning of seeing, like, the dead and, like, the side where they have been already in for, like, many, many years. So she can't keep, like, the shock of seeing another dead body on the inside. She feels the need to be expressive about this. But just because Cassiel and the others aren't showing it doesn't mean that they aren't blown away by a scene like that either. The heart has to beat, but it is beating. Simona wanted someone else to hurt too, and she succeeded. Yeah, you do not bring my past into this.
What do you know? You read a few texts and listened to some lectures at university, and suddenly everyone around you is an open book.
Past pain, yes. We are all human beings. We all share the exact same amount of emotions. And depending on what happens in our life, it shapes us in a specific direction. There are those types of people and those types of people. Like, you behave in a different way. Like, there are people that choose more the positive side to life, and there are people that show more the negative side to life. And depending on the negative or the positive side, if two people choose, like, the positive side when it comes to negativity and past trauma, then they behave in a different way. As you all can very well see, I can read people like a book. I can. I just choose not to sometimes because, like, come on, imagine, like, meeting so many people and then you're analyzing in him being like, oh, he has daddy issues. Oh, God, she is a pedophile. Like, sooner or later, you're just tired. Like, I choose not to, especially when I meet, like, new people, because I feel like I can read you, yes, but I shouldn't have to. Like, you should be capable to talk to me about specific type of things. And I feel like she overstepped boundaries a little bit, allowing her emotions, like, to get the best of her. Because just because I'm not showing emotions doesn't mean that I'm not personally affected by the entire thing. Like, that was out of the ordinary for a psychologist, because you would have to know that there are people that hide pain, but that doesn't mean that they don't truly feel. She's talking about psychoanalysis, like, shouldn't she know?
Have you decided that we're heartless just because we don't cry on each other's shoulders? Are you measuring everyone according to some stupid psychoanalysis chart?
A painful lump formed in her throat. She realized he was right. Yes, I mean, partially he right. She overstepped boundaries, I did say. But the way he said it is also wrong. But again, now she tried to hurt his feelings, so it's right if he hurts hers. Same. I'm a worthless doctor. I mean, after all, she got her license revoked. I was unable to recognize the signs of schizophrenia in my own patient. What do I even know? The tension of the evening finally burst from her heart, flooding through her. Unable to contain her pent-up emotions any longer, Simona dropped her head into her hands and began to sob. Not her crying. I feel bad. Like, this is also like when you are just done with life. You immediately stop. Faces flashed before her eyes, pleading with her, condemning her. Emma, her patient, the monster from the basement, her parents. They were all begging for her, and she couldn't give it to them. All my attempts at atonement are doomed to fail. At that moment, she didn't care that she was breaking down. She didn't even care that the last person she wanted to see her cry was witnessing it. There's a maniac wandering around stuffing girls' corpses under beds, and I can't even get my act together. A girl, with all due respect, baby, you also need to go to therapy. I mean, everyone, I feel like I need to add this in here as well. When I say therapy, I do not mean that you are demented, because you are being people are being told to go to therapy when they can't deal with problems by themselves no more, and they need help from someone that actually knows, from someone that actually learned how to help people get their act together. When technically, in my eyes, I feel like I need to say it like this: a psychologist is like a friend. You go to them, you talk to them, and because they actually know about the human psychologic, because of the human psychic, because of psychology, they can read you, they can figure out what you're trying to hide, because they also have like human knowledge. They met so many different people, and then they can actually tell you what is actually wrong with you, what you're trying to hide, what you're being in denial for. And then they can teach you a specific way to actually deal with your past trauma. And that's when you slowly start to heal. A psychologist is not there for crazy people. A psychologist is supposed to help you figure out your own emotions so that you can deal with them. Like, that's a psychologist. When I say you need to go to a psychologist, I'm not insulting you. I mean that you have insane pain filled inside of you, and you always felt the need to help other people deal with their bullshit to the point that you forgot that you also have your own problems to deal with. You can't heal other people when you're drowning yourself. And that's what I mean. Like, she needs to talk to someone. She just needs to let her pain out. And that's also like a thing that I need to give in here as well. You can be strong, and you sadly have to. But you shouldn't have to all the time. I can be strong. I know I am, but I shouldn't have to be strong all the time. Like, I should be capable to allow myself to be vulnerable for a change sometimes, without having the fear of being judged just because I'm human. How can I help this world? Suddenly a large, coarse hand landed on her shoulder. Cassiel pulled her close, easy and familiar, as though he had done it hundreds of times. I'm pretty sure he didn't want her to cry. And Simona was in such dire need of support that she accepted the gesture without question. Oh, stop. Pressing herself against his broad chest, Simona unconsciously clung to his shirt. She gripped the fabric until it creased, but Cassiel only pulled her closer. Oh, stop. Nah, Cassiel, it's fine. Like, we have a lot of bullshit to deal with. I feel like she just needed someone to show her that feeling emotion isn't an awful thing. Everyone around her, like, not giving a damn, not actually trying to tell her that it's okay for her to feel compassion for the scene unfolding in front of her, and everyone around her, like, not giving a damn, like, being completely neutral about the entire thing, not letting one single emotion escape from their faces, giving off the feeling that she's just hypersensitive, that she can't do shit no more, that she's not even fit for her own job, allowing her emotions to get the best of her. And she's been working on this profession, wanting to help others, to the point that she's not even realizing that she couldn't even help herself. That's actually draining. And that's actually sad on so many levels. So she broke down. It's not your fault, Cassiel. It's not your fault. You didn't do anything. Forgive me. I'm sorry. It's not your fault. At that moment, Simona forgave him for everything, even though she didn't really know why he was asking for it. He feels sorry because he sees you cry. He feels that it's partially his fault that you cried, so he feels he needs to take responsibility. She desperately wanted to tell him that she didn't mind him being a little rude, but the endless tears kept her from speaking. Oh, when no more tears would come, Simona carefully pulled away. You and Cassiel have become close. No, stop. Sorry, but I need to talk to David. Yes, of course. He hesitated for a moment, looking caught between staying and leaving. Aww, Cassiel. He's also cutie pie. Then he looked into her eyes once more. Go ahead, I'll be fine. Cassiel finished his drink and left the room without another word. Good. Solitude brought no relief. All her fears, doubts, and memories began to fill the silence with their incessant whispering. I should get some fresh air. I'll sit by Astrea statue. Maybe a miracle will happen and she will help me calm down. Who knows? Leaving her drink untouched, Simona got up and ran to the garden. Trying to ignore her unwanted thoughts, she pulled the heavy door open and ran into an equally lost Raphael. Ah, this bitch is finally here too. Yo, this episode is fucking long. Oh shit, sorry. Something small fell from the man's hand and rolled to her feet with a soft clink sound.
Sorry, did I startle you?
Judging by the look on Raphael's face, he was the one who needed comforting. Where has he been all day? No, I'm fine. Then when I went to pick up the dropped item and froze, is it the murder weapon? There was a silver pendant in the shape of half a heart. And that was half of the heart missing from the pendant from the young woman.
Thank you.
Raphael carefully took the pendant from her and hastily stuffed it into his pockets. This is too ridiculous to be true of me.
I seem to have missed CASSIEL.
He went to talk to David.
Thank you. I'll go then, shall I?
It sounded like he was asking for her permission, but she couldn't say anything. Where did he get the exact same necklace as Emma? And not even the exact same necklace, nah. Oh, hold up, now I think about it, maybe. They were two sisters, maybe they both had the same necklace. I thought that he had like that half heart, that a foreign part of the necklace that was hanging around Emma's neck. Felonia's words immediately came to mind. Why did she ask David where Raphael was? And more importantly, why did he lie? That they were trying to cover each other's asses. Nothing new? Nodding uncertainly, Simona walked carefully around him. It was only when she was at the door of her bedroom that she realized she had gone the wrong way. Oh my god, I wanted to go to the garden. Nope, no more. We're so petrified, it's best to lock ourselves in a room. Simona went back to the stairs and listened. She could hear muffled voices in the distance. CASSIEL, Raphael, MIKAEL, David. Simona recognized each of their voices. They're all together, y'all. This is some fucked up bullshit. Bitches, I'm gonna tell you what I said back in the day as well. If you want to keep your dusty secrets hidden where they are supposed to, under the rug, you're gonna need to make sure that the one that isn't supposed to find out about anything that's happening is out of the house. They were all in an intense discussion about something, but she couldn't make out what it was. Some part of the team I am, they're having a meeting without me. Yeah, this is like a family business, sort of. They are a squad, but they're also family. Shock me, bitches. Simona went down to the first floor and stopped close by the door to MIKAEL's office. Now she could hear them all more clearly, from MIKAEL's stern voice to Raphael's quiet tones. As expected, they weren't faced by the girl's death. Of course not. All of them know.
We need to review all the old cases to make sure we didn't miss anything. Then Felonia destroy them. They haven't given them back to her since that time. I put the box in your bedroom. I have looked in your shares time, but maybe you'll find something. Okay, but I don't think I missed anything. Then why is your bloodhound so eager to meet with you?
This is the first murder like this? This isn't the first murder like this? What does it all mean? These guys are working with the police now. This is all incredibly suspicious. Aren't they protecting Raphael? I find it hard to believe that they're involved in this. No, they're very much involved, I feel. They're all terribly suspicious. Okay, now the way they're all talking, I feel like they're all in this. So I can't say, are they protecting Raphael? I feel like he was the one that went ahead. This is all terribly suspicious. It's like they're hiding something that has to do with the case. Seems like they're all in on it too. Yeah. The only question is how terrible their role is in all of this. But there is no point in speculating. I have to get a look at those old cases. There was no time to agonize or wrestle with her conscience. Their meeting could end at any moment. Oh well. Trying to walk silently, Simona just returned to the second floor, just in case she knocked softly on Raphael's bedroom door. She waited a moment before turning the handle. Deep down, Simona didn't want to see anything personal of his, or anything that Raphael wouldn't want to show to uninvited guests. Expect there was nothing of the sort. Huh? Simona closed the door behind her and looked around. It felt like there would be more personal items in a hotel room than here. The dull colors, the furniture, the atmosphere. How do you know that it's his bedroom and not a single little trinket that could characterize its owner? It looks like a cell. Damn! No wonder he spends his time in the living room instead of here. This room is very depressing. Well, why doesn't he try to, I don't know, advertise it or something? Forgetting the purpose of her visit for a moment, Simona approached the desk. There was a cardboard box on the chair. There was a thin diary and a pencil on the desk next to it. It was as though these were the only objects in the room. Resisting the temptation to look elsewhere, Simona opened the box. I bet it's just like this time in the closet and bathroom too. The first thing she noticed were the photos. It was hard to notice much else when the glassy eyes of mutilated faces were peering out of her from the photographs. Yeah. With trembling fingers, Simona turned them over. Completely different people in completely different places with only one thing in common, the strange symbol on their bodies. It's the same symbol. Simona had never seen it before. Is it from some kind of cult? I'll have to ask Ruth. She definitely knows more about religion than I do. And it would be good to take a photo of it. I doubt I can accurately describe it in words. Take a photo. Simona chose a photo that didn't show much beyond the symbol itself and took a picture of it with her phone. Now I'll have something to show Ruth. And it will be easier for me to find some information on the internet too. You took a photo. This will affect the plot. Carefully returning the stack to its place, Simona opened a thin folder containing information about the case. According to the records, the body of a young man was found in a restaurant full of people, and only he, like Emma's sister, had the chest burned into his chest. I mean, burned, y'all. How the fuck? How would someone have time for all of this? In other photos, the symbol appears to have been cut out. But she didn't really want to go through all of them, just to make sure of that. Simona carefully closed the box and decided that she would ask Michael about this directly. Since he insists on honesty, he will have to answer my honest question. What connects them to these cases, and what are they trying to find? It would be insanely funny if all of a sudden all of these boys are standing in front of Raphael's door. Simona was about to leave the room, but insisted she approach the table again. He'll probably tell me about the case, but definitely not about Raphael, or about where he got the pendant from. I can only find that out for myself. Carefully opening the journal, Simona tried to flip to the latest entry. I'm just checking to see if you wrote anything yesterday. This is such an invasion of privacy. But I guess curiosity killed the cat. These pages were completely filled with writing, from top to bottom, as if the line spaces weren't enough. The words were accompanied by drawings, strange symbols intertwined, forming the same sign from the photograph. Simona flipped the page. Fear chased away her embarrassment, leaving only the desire to shield herself from what she had just seen. What is that? A pair of red eyes stared up at her, formed by incoherent, intricate patterns that looked like tangles of hair. Simona kept turning the pages until, in the midst of the chaos, regular handwriting finally appeared, just a glimpse of a human consciousness in the abyss of madness. More and more I think about what you have doomed me to. All my life I've tried not to notice that bright colors around me, lest I learn too much. I was afraid that someday a random beautiful flower would make me renounce my own destiny. I closed my eyes so I would see only darkness. What the fuck is going on? And I've avoided the day for so long that I think I've grown to love the night. And now I don't want to die, Father. What? What does this mean? I feel like he's a demon. Condemned to darkness to live in the shadows. And he hated the darkness, but he had to get used to it in order, like, to carry out some sort of order. And now he sadly grew used to the damage that his father was dooming him to. So now he can't go back to the way things were. She didn't have time to think of an answer before she heard soft footsteps coming down the hall. Damn it, already? Putting the journal and pencil back on the table, Simona rushed around the room. Where am I supposed to hide? There's barely anything in here. Jump out the window. Simona ran into the bathroom and left the door slightly ajar. I hope it's not Raphael. As soon as the footsteps stop, I'll go back to my room. But her hopes were dashed when David entered the room, followed by a melancholy Raphael. Oh my gosh, let's go. Let's get the tea. Let's get the damn tea. David's loud voice helped cover the sound of her closing the bathroom door. Shit, what do I do now? Jump out the fucking window. The open bathroom window was the only available option. I wonder if jumping from the second floor is fatal. Damn! Besides the fact that they can hear you, I doubt you fly. Sneaking over the windows, and when I look down. God, if I die like this, what a ridiculous way to go out. The window felt like it was even higher off the ground than before, but then she noticed the ivy covering the wall. The rush of adrenaline drowned out the voices from the next room. Simona had lost all interest in her conversation. I have to get out of here without getting caught. This woman. What is she doing? She dangled her legs out the window, then turned around and grabbed the sill. Okay, it's not that high. Simona placed her foot on the thick greenery, trying to feel around for support. Lo and behold, she found it. As she inched down, she suddenly felt the ivy slowly peel away from the wall. Oh no, 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 no. Slowly, like snapping things, the stem tore off one by one. She tried to grab the windowsill again, but it was already out of reach. Well, time seemed to slow down. Simona heard her final hope for a safe landing snap with the last vine. She glanced at the window. Then she looked down and was horrified at the distance between her and the ground. It's too high. This is going to hurt. If we're not going to die or someone is not going to catch us. And a moment later, she felt the terror of free fall. Well, the window chilled her body as she fell. The ground was approaching too fast. Simona had closed her eyes and braced for impact, but instead she felt someone's arms catch her. Huh? What the fuck? What? That's not possible. What? He's in his room. Oh my gosh. Does he have an evil twin? Raphael? But there was no one there a second ago. I saw him. Did I mistake him from someone else? I don't think so. We said that it was him, so he definitely was in the room. I ain't stupid. It couldn't have been someone else. It was Raphael. But how did he get here? That's the question. David looked out of the bathroom window.
Well, did you catch her?
Oh my god, he has lightning speed. He heard it. He heard the snapping. Judging by his cheerful expression, he was very amused by the situation. Well,
I'm coming down now. Using the stairs like everyone else.
Bye. Simona turned her stunned gaze back to Raphael. The fuck is this man do? No. He was in the bedroom. He could have gotten downstairs that fast. How did he manage to get here before me? But how did you? I thought I saw you come in. Simona cut herself off mid-sentence. Come in where? His room? Realizing that the danger had passed, Simona noticed that he was still holding her. He stood firmly on his feet, looking as if catching people falling out of windows was something he did every day. I should probably get down. No. Sorry. Simona wrapped her arms around Raphael's neck. Of course, like hold on to him tighter. She looked at his slightly disappointed face. Is he disappointed in me?
I won't embarrass you any further. I'll just ask you one thing. Is it really worse to be caught than to hit the ground?
Not knowing how to answer, Simona shrank into his hold. She wrapped her arms tight around him as if afraid he would drop her in retaliation. There's no right answer to his question. All of them make me look like an idiot. Then when I accidentally brushed her fingers against his neck, causing goosebumps to rise on his skin. Maybe this is the first miracle. Raphael was there when I needed him most. An inexplicable miracle. I'll definitely think about that later. Right now she wanted to know how this mysterious man was feeling. How he was willing to overlook her intrusion, but couldn't seem to take his eyes off her. No, being caught isn't scary at all. It's actually pretty nice. A faint blush appeared on his face.
You're joking, but this isn't funny. It's a miracle you didn't break anything.
It's a miracle you were there to catch me. Raphael's melancholy eyes captivated her with their sincere concern and warmth. These can't be the eyes of a madman. Does he have a shadow? Like, how do I say it? Like a shadow of himself. Like that he has like two people inside of him. Like, I don't know how to explain it to y'all so that you can understand me. Like, again, we have positive and negative personality traits. And this man is kind of capable to turn into like all of his good personality traits and then all of his bad personality traits. Like the shady bitch ass is the one that we heard when someone was talking about killing that girl, you know? Or of criminal.
Next time, just find me and ask me directly, okay?
You're not that easy to find, you know?
You didn't really try, Simona.
That he was more worried about her well-being than the fact that she brought into his room made her feel strangely warm inside. He's so cute when he pretends to be angry. Not us being cutie pie. A strand of hair fell across his gloomy face and she tucked it carefully behind his ear. Uh-huh. He's blushing so much. He's a cutie pie. He's innocent. He's acting like he's the one who got caught in my bedroom. Simona lowered her hand back to his neck. This time she deliberately ran her cold finger slowly over his skin. Make him feel hot and bothered. The man's grip tightened. He pressed her closer to his chest, but how exactly... I mean, he did catch us, so it's like we're holding or... we wrapped our arms around this man's neck. Meanwhile, this man has like one arm under our arms and the other one under our knees, right? How close can someone actually press us to himself? Okay. He's been holding me for quite a while, but he doesn't look like he's getting tired. And he caught me so effortlessly. Nah, these two all are like supernatural. There was power hidden in that seemingly fragile body, restrained and exciting. And then when I realized that it was time to get down, the hand at her waist was getting too hot and the man's chest heaved more noticeably than it had at the beginning. Yeah, he getting turned on. Can you let go? Raphael didn't immediately realize what he was being asked to do. He stared into Simona's eyes, mesmerized, and then hastily but very carefully he put her back on her feet. He clenched his hands into tight fists as if blaming himself for his momentary weakness. Yeah, he couldn't help himself but to fold like a piece of paper. It seems that Raphael will be thinking of you today, huh? Thank you. Thank you.
I can see that you're afraid of something, Simona. Let me prove to you that I would never hurt you.
Raphael doesn't know that you overheard him, and he's sincerely worried about you. Oh, stop. He has a right to know why I don't trust him. I saw a pendant in your hands, the same one that Emma's sister had.
Emma?
The woman whose sister was killed in the club. Raphael spoke slowly, choosing his words carefully.
Elena gave this pendant David, and he gave it to me. If you recall, I study objects. The pendant only ended up with me because I had to do my job.
His explanation made sense. I should have guessed that and avoided this whole thing. Okay, I'll be blunt. I feel like you guys are keeping something from me, and I don't like it. Secrets breed speculation. I hope you understand that. That hardly justifies my actions, but still. Raphael suddenly spoke very quietly and quickly.
I'm not your enemy, Simona, but an enemy does exist. And what you need to realize is that you don't have to go looking for him.
He will come for you. Why?
Because he's too strong for you.
Are you talking about a human or some kind of demon?
Evil doesn't care whether you believe in it or not. It has many faces, but the grief it brings about is real. Let unimaginable pain and death become your new faith while you are here. And if you do not follow behind us, if you choose to walk your own path, only one outcome awaits you. The beast will devour you.
Ooh. Am I stupid as fuck for actually saying I want this beast to devour me? Because I'm extremely intrigued and extremely attracted. I love this story. I really do. But let's see what next episode will be. Like, I don't even know what to say. I'm just extremely intrigued about who the real enemy is in this story. But we will see. I hope you enjoyed this video with me. Tell me in the comments below what you think was best, and I will see you in another video. Bye.